The views and opinions expressed on This Can't Be Adulting are solely those of the host and do not represent or reflect the views of any individual, organization, employer, or entity we may be affiliated with. The content of this podcast is for informational and entertainment purposes only. Listener discretion is advised. Yo, welcome to This Can't Be Adulting, the podcast where two guys who probably should have it all figured out absolutely don't.
Careers, money, relationships. No one handed us a manual, so we're figuring it out the only way we know how, with real talk, deep dives, and a whole lot of laughs.
I'm Herb.
And I'm Derek. And if you're out here wondering, am I doing this right? Trust us, you're not alone.
So hit play, relax, and let's figure this out together.
All right. We out here. Welcome to the This Can't Be Adulting podcast. How's everyone's doing? The struggle's real.
I'm rubbing off on you. That's some of that country slang right
Some
there.
of that country slang.
Everybody out here around these parts.
What's going on, everyone? What's going on? Welcome again. Herb, how we doing, man?
Pretty good,
Yeah.
Season 2, episode 2.
So that's part 2.
Part 2.
We're going to continue our conversation on AI today.
Man, which I think, before we jump in, I think that we'll get to it, but I think it'll be interesting. I'm glad we're doing a part 2 because I think what you're going to realize is that even going back and listening and just doing a little bit more research on AI, I think we got. I'm interested to do part 2.
Interested to do part 2. Interested in doing part 2. Yeah. The reality is this topic can go on forever and ever. Well, let me not say forever. We can go on for days on this shit.
Yes.
And so instead of being rushed and trying to squeeze it in all an hour, we're going to do a part 2 and have a kind of honest conversation about it. We did get some feedback on the last episode from some very much loyal listeners, so we appreciate that, and viewers.
Well, I got a chance to meet.
Yeah, well, you did get a chance to say shout out to Neha. Thanks for listening. But we always welcome comments. Always welcome comments on the YouTube channel if you're watching YouTube channel. Now, we do have to set up an Instagram account.
Social media.
We got to do that because people are telling us they'd rather interact with us there than on the YouTube stuff. And fair enough.
The two most social media gentlemen that we know, right?
Yeah, right. It's a true story, man. It's a true story. But I mean, without further ado, I say we just jump into this now. What you think?
Before we jump in, I was going to ask one last thing.
What you got?
Reason why I was able to meet Derek's, one of our
loyal listeners
is because last week my boy Derek here found himself running in the Austin Half Marathon.
That's right, I
which
did.
We got out to support, and I mean,
it's good times.
Quick before we jump in, tell us a little bit about the process. Now that you've had a week to digest it, what's maybe a recap? Highlights, lowlights.
So, first of all, I ain't shit for running Austin Half Marathon. That's not what this is about. I ain't shit.
More shit than me.
But it was my first half marathon. It was the longest I've ever run in my entire life. Okay. I've never run 13.1 miles ever. And but from what I've been told, whenever you're training for longer races, you don't ever actually run the
distance.
The distance, you run short of it. Yeah. So I would say I got this in my mind when I kind of started running. Started running back in June and July because I got a bunch of cousins back in Rhode Island. Started doing this. A bunch of my cousins in Rhode Island started a run club out there, and so they've been telling me, you should join a run club, you should run. I'm like, I hate running because you and I were athletes, right?
That's
so
right.
You know that running was equated to it was punishment.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah,
you had to go run laps. You had to go run.
Yeah, hit the line.
So I've always hated running, even though I had to run all the time
no
through soccer.
What sport. Yeah, hit the line.
And so that's how I kind of always viewed it. But then once you start running with a group of people, with a run club, and there's a competition or a race, it's actually really, really cool. The training sucked because even though I wasn't training like that much, like I was only running 3 times a week, but like I still was going to the gym. Yeah, I was still going to the gym 4 times a week, running 3 times a week. It's time consuming, and 13.1 ain't short amount in distance, right? So,
right.
I would have one long run a week, a medium run a week, and then a short run a week.
Yeah.
And so, at the end of it, I was running 12 miles or attempting to 12 miles for my long run. I was doing 8 miles for my medium run, and I was running 4 miles for my shorter run. And so it just takes up a lot of time. My legs are sore. As I get older, what I've realized is that my sweet spot is 3 to 6 miles. That's my
Okay.
sweet spot.
Okay.
Once I get past 5-6 miles, my legs start aching. Like
Yep.
my joints. Boy's getting old, yo. We out here 40, dog. I'm feeling it. But with that said, the race day itself was dope. Like I loved the environment. You were running with there was 30,000 people running. It was
Crazy.
Both
It was mad.
It was both the Austin half and the full marathon.
Yep.
And so it was just like the adrenaline. You're running with people the entire time. The people that go there to cheer you on, even if you don't know them, like this shit was dope. Like I had obviously Herb was there and stuff, but like you see them for like 2 seconds.
That's it, bro.
That's it. A mile 9, they were there 2 seconds. Boom. Oh, what up, dog? Give him 5, and I kept running.
Yep.
And so you don't see it much, but there's people all along the entire race, and like they get you amped up. They have the funniest fucking signs. They're handing out shots. I did not take a shot, but like people was out here crazy.
Took the shot, though.
Yeah, so that was an easier run than the 12 miles that I tried to do the week before that I couldn't do. I died at mile 8.3. The week before I did 12 miles and I was able to do it, but that shit was brutal.
Yeah.
This was easier, and this had way more hills. Austin got hills.
Oh yeah, hill country.
Oh
baby.
man,
You don't
Austin
know?
got hills.
Yeah, West Austin straight hills.
You pass that mile 9.5 and you turn that corner, it's Enfield, it's all just rolling hills. You just up and down like this.
Yeah.
But it really wasn't that bad, to be honest with you. Like, got through it.
Lastly, the nerves. Was it like game day nerves? Did it take you back, or is it
A little bit, yeah.
okay?
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit, just mainly because I had failed the 12 miles that week.
I could see that. Like, oh.
So I was nervous because I'm like, fuck, I had just done 12 miles. Like, what's going on? But like,
And you said if you stop, you didn't run it. Right?
if I ever a controversial topic right there, people be coming at my neck about that.
No.
Because I'm a believer in. Well, it depends. Well, it just depends on what your goal is. Actually,
That's fair.
it's
It's
different.
all- yeah,
Because
yeah.
if people are like, "Yo, I just want to finish it, no matter how I finish it," then that's on
That's
you.
the goal. Yeah.
For me, if I didn't finish it running it, then I didn't run a half marathon.
Right.
That doesn't count as running a half marathon for me.
Yep.
But other people have their own goals, and if for them it's just like, "Yo, I just want to make sure I get across that finish line, whether I walk, crawl, run, then it matters to me." I agree with that. That's what's up. I fuck with that.
I mean, there's people out there that was disabled.
Yeah, yeah, but wild though, and like kudos to them. That's why I mean, like I ain't shit. Like people out here doing some
Again,
beyond stuff.
I was spectating.
Yeah, spectating. Yeah, I wanted Herb to run with me at least a quarter of a mile. Nah, your boy was like, nah, I'm good.
I saw that hill. No way.
Nah. So it was a good experience.
Yeah.
It was a good experience, and I might do it again, but like to try to run 26.2 now.
Yeah.
Nah. Okay. Man, I finished at 13.1, and I was like, yo, do I have another 13. Nah. I maybe had another 2 miles left in my legs.
Yeah, but that's because you knew you was running to your finish right there. Did you? Lastly, your PR, your time. Did you hit your goal?
Yeah. So I was trying to run a sub 2 hour half marathon, which equates to if you run an hour and 59 minutes and 59 second half marathon, that's around a 9-minute 8, 9-minute 9 pace.
Yeah.
Minute pace per mile, and so that's what I was shooting for at worst. And my BHAG, which if y'all are in sales, BHAG is your big, hairy, audacious goal, was to finish at an 8-minute and 30-second pace.
Okay.
And so according to my Garmin watch, Garmin is God, I ran in an 8-minute and 30 pace, which is about an hour and 52 minutes and 38 seconds. But according to my bib, to the marathon, I ran in an 8-minute 36-second pace. So regardless, I did better than I would. I pretty much hit my big, hairy, audacious goal.
All right.
So
big old hairy, audacious goal.
Sub 2 hour. I did sub 2 hours. So I feel good about it.
I think that's again. I was spectating, but I definitely thought it was cool to see the boy out there running.
Yeah. I appreciate having all my friends there. It was dope having Herb there, everybody there. It was super dope. And I'll definitely do more races. I took this whole week off, like completely. Went out and got a little rowdy after. I was out till 8:30 p.m. at night.
8:30 on a Sunday?
On a Sunday. Fucking late, dog. Okay. But I took the whole week off. I didn't go to the gym. I didn't run. I just gave Choco her walks, but back at it tomorrow because today's Sunday, by the way. So back at it tomorrow, back at the gym. I'll start running again on Wednesday.
Okay. All right. Commendable.
All right. Well, I appreciate you talking about that.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
One thing AI cannot help you with is running marathons.
Until it can.
It ain't going to run it for you.
I mean, not as this species of
not in this meaty, fleshy body.
Not as this species of sapiens, but maybe in my next evolution of sapiens. Who knows?
Yeah, very true. Very
you
true.
You have sent me some couple videos.
Those
you saw
robots,
the kung fu robots.
Yo, China bugging. These kung fu robots.
They just letting us know, y'all.
Oh yeah, that's a flex.
They letting us know, hey guys, I know y'all think y'all big about.
We don't show you guys what we over here doing. Like, come on now.
That was their kindergartners they sent out. That was it. That was
exactly.
the real. That was the real thing.
Like, come on now.
It's crazy.
China to AI.
It's crazy.
We've been here.
So a couple of things I wanted to start off with here. We got some good feedback from Neha again. Thank you. A couple of things was we want to be able to let's somewhat categorize the type of AI that we're talking about here, because a lot of what we've been actually talking about is kind of the task-based AIs, and I think that's what Herb's a really big fan of, but he's going to elaborate more on the other forms, right?
Very true. Very true.
That task-based AI is officially called the artificial narrow intelligence, or AKA weak AI. These AIs specialize in one task. So, for example, ChatGPT, Siri, even self-driving cars, right? That's kind of the era that we're in right now, where these oligarchs are trying to push us into, and a lot of the world's trying to push us into, are the next two categories, which is AGI, or artificial general intelligence. You probably heard about it a lot. That is theoretical human-level AI that can learn and apply intelligence across diverse domains. So we're not just talking about someone, an AI that'll make a coffee really nicely, or a chatbot that'll have a nice conversation with you, like or the driving car. It's almost, I'm not going to say complete autonomy, but it can make decisions based off of a lot of different things. Yeah. That's where these oligarchs want to get us to. Yes. And then the third, and I don't want to say final piece because there's clearly more above it, but the third one is called ASI, or artificial superintelligence. So it's a theoretical future AI surpassing human intelligence. So those are the three that we're talking about.
Yes.
My hate isn't really on the weak AI that we have now. My hate and my worry is for the next two. That's really what I'm more and more concerned about. So I did want to touch on that, because I also understand Herb and I aren't experts in AI. Well, let me speak for I'm certainly not an expert in AI. This is just stuff that I'm learning, so you guys can look at me like I'm wearing a tinfoil hat. That's fine. But I also got to remember that some of our audience probably might not know. Not probably. Some of y'all might not really know anything about AI, even though it's all hype. I'm assuming we've been assuming. So I just wanted to lay that down. Yeah. Any comments on that?
Yeah. No, I think it's great that you broke them down to those three categories, because I think a lot of our last episode, and kind of where we're going back and forth, we were speaking more of this simplistic, what we see now, AI that we currently have. So more of the ANI, like the narrow intelligence, whereas the AGI and ASI is your fear. And I think one of your fears more like around the superpower, or like the damage to Earth, more so damage to like not trusting these individuals.
I touched on that. The two main things that I touched on, I did touch on the trust, and I'm going to touch more on that today. But the main things that I touched on was the bad for the economy and people's wallets.
There we go.
That's what I touched on, and the environment. The only things I touched on. Yeah. I do want to touch on why they're bad for jobs and for our employment status, and the safety concerns. That's what I want to touch on today. But I'm also going to touch on, the positives of what I see AI and what it can bring to the to society.
Yeah, because I want to wrap up kind of where I say is that in your kind of how you share your kind of feeling is that I'm not afraid of basic as AI, but learning more about AGI and its capabilities and kind of what we need to understand of the capabilities of AGI and what it's trying to do is essentially replace humans. And the whole goal is that you won't have to do these laborious things that typically we have to do, whether that is manual labor, but also white collar stuff. Like a lot of, when you talk about job replacement, a lot of white collar jobs, like you won't need a lawyer. You won't
coding.
You
won't need a lawyer.
And that's where it gets, a lot of it's the programming.
Yeah.
And the whole race is to how fast can we augment programming? Because that's the biggest thing right now, is that humans are still the ones that we're going in and doing the research for AI, saying like we want to create these type of programs, this model, run this some type of test research, and then see what the outcome of that is. Take that outcome, and then maybe we can create another program or some type of another AI. Where the scariness comes when the AI starts to run its own programs and can do self research at the snap of a finger, where I can say, hey, run a program on this, and it could take every single computer and run all the simulations for this specific program and based on what the outcome. So now we're left to what you were kind of afraid of, these 6 people making the decisions for all of us. And the reason why they're basically making these decisions or going towards these 2 other types of AI is that if I don't do it, somebody else is going to do it.
That's just the worst mentality.
And if it's going to go off the rails, then I want to be the person that calls it off the rails, then somebody else causing it to go off the rails, and I just have to sit back and watch.
Well, look, and I say this because it's arrogance and it's cockiness and it's godlike mentality.
I created the God.
That some people have, and even in like really, it's a basic foundation of human nature. When you think you're the shit in your specific field, for example, athletes, and I know this for a fact because I know Herb thinks very highly of himself with some athletic things, and I don't mean that in a bad way, but I remember this one conversation I had with Herb because he was texting me after the World Cup and he was watching during the World Cup and he was watching the penalties, and it was like a game where they were just missing, and he was like, "Bro, I don't get how they're missing."
Agreed.
Like, he just didn't understand it.
Yeah.
And then we were having a conversation, and he was like, "Do you like taking the PKs?" I was like, I mean, I normally the way we do it is like, who's the better PK taker? And then Herb was like, nah, I would always want to take it because I want it to fall on my shoulders. That if it fails, at least I was the one in control.
Yeah.
And that's a benign, situation. But now we're talking about control of this machine learning, this artificial intelligence. As these people are like, well, it could go bad, but I'm really smart, so I'm pretty sure I'm not going to let it go bad. I'm pretty sure I want to be the one to do it because I'm smarter than everyone else. And so it's not going to, I mean, it could, but I'd rather be on my shoulders if it does. And that's my biggest concern because it's no longer, jury by committee. It's very, very singular decisions are being made on behalf of all of us with us having very little say.
Yeah. But we don't understand. We can't comprehend. We see the chat bots. They don't show us the AGI. They don't show us the ASI. Like, we see the chat bots, but what they're really working towards is as I've done more research, is through providing this type of one of the CEOs was asked essentially if there's an 80% chance that this will be the revolutionary for humans, for civilization, and a 20% chance that it's the doomsday of, it's going to wipe out civilization.
Is that worth the risk?
Is that worth the risk? And his mindset was, how fast can we break things? Essentially, how fast can we pursue that 80% and not worry about the 20%?
Who said that?
I'm not sure what exactly. I'm going to credit this to Diary of a CEO with Stephen Bartlett. He had on Tristan Harris, who's the ex-Google insider who kind of blew about where AI was headed and some of the things that we have to be cognizant of. But he was speaking of particular. He didn't go into the specific name of who this individual was, but this person basically was saying 20% is worth the risk. Elon Musk has had the same thing on some tweets where he was saying he tried to warn us about AI at the beginning. One of his things with President Obama was, the scariness of AI and some of the things we need to fear. But then he came around to, well, hell, if we're going to have it, it's going to happen anyways, that I might as well be at the head of it if it's going to be this thing. So the mindset of all these guys that are at the head of it is like, it ain't coming from this great place of altruistic, like we're going to help humanity. It's coming from a place of, one, I want to be the person that created the next evolution of that's going to change civilization. And if it does go off the rails, at least I'm the person that created it, almost not that even I have control of it, but I'm the person that was in control of creating the destruction of civilization. I wasn't just sitting backseat as like this passive person. So
how do you feel about that now?
Fuck them motherfuckers, man. No, but I also understand, like,
it's getting money for you now.
It does. I knew this already. I know they don't care about us. I know that they don't care about us, but I think more so as in me being like they don't care about us, but coming more so around to like what the possibilities of AGI, ASI can do. Because right now we still think about AI and such dumb things like automated driving.
Right.
We see these robots that
beyond
do
that
some things, but it's
we think of it as the ANI, that narrow intelligence.
Yes, one type of thing, but we don't understand, like, as a humans, how complex we like as a machine, as a computer, as a human being. Like we're very complex. Like we can drive, we can type, we can do complex thinking.
We have emotions.
We have emotions. Where these things are going to get to where they are better at these fundamental, which is the whole general intelligence, the AGI, the next step, where they can do all these fundamental programming and augmented programming to where they can do these complex tasks like we do, multiple tasks, not just a self-driving car or a chatbot, but no, these are like general tasks of being essentially a human better than we can. And then if we get to the AS side, and it's, you know.
So is that a negative?
If it's used for bad, yes, but if it's used for positive,
But how is it gonna? But how is it gonna be used for positive right now? We have a world right now where we're the richest nation in the world, and the wealth gap is the highest it's ever been since stock market crash, the Rockefellers year, the Vanderbilts year.
Yes.
All right, we have a world where we are one of the countries with pretty much almost one of the highest infant mortality rates out of any developed nation in the world. Yep. We have a nation where at any given time, I don't know what these numbers are, and I'll look it up, but there's millions of people that don't have health care. We have a nation, like we have all these things. Yeah. And so what makes you think that all of a sudden the AI is going to be used for good?
I guess I would say,
you know what I mean?
That right now is the greatest time to be alive. So like in that case,
well, tell that to the people in Palestine.
Probably not the greatest time to be alive.
You know what I mean?
But I mean, I'm speaking from a my perspective in that
general
case.
Perspective.
Yeah,
sure.
Especially for Americans, I'm saying for Americans, like it's the greatest time to be alive in America, despite the hardships. So thus, like if it's going to create things, if I'm thinking about it in AI of how it could help, like maybe healthcare is something that it can solve.
I know. Healthcare is certainly something it can solve. I'm not saying that these things can. You know, to me, that's the positive about AI. That's why That's why AI. I would love for it to be more welcome to it if we knew that for the most part. I'm not even talking about perfectionism. I'm not even trying to give it the purity test. Yeah. Like things are going to go wrong. Like everything goes wrong. That's not what this is about. Yeah. But the level at which things will go wrong, in my opinion, far outweigh the good that may come from it. Like we're being sold the goods. Like like I agree. Like let's go cure cancer. Let's go figure out the biggest mysteries of the universe that you and I were talking about with AI. Like all that is like magnificent. Let's close the wealth gap. Let's do all that. But it's not going to be used for that. Yeah. It's not going to be used for that. Not with these people honestly, that are controlling it all.
I will say
it's not going to happen.
One of the things is that
real quick before you say that. Let me think about it. Go for it.
I was going to say that you say it's not going to be used for that. We don't know how it's going to be used. We don't know what's going to come out of it. It could be doomsday. It could also
But why don't we know that?
Because we don't know how.
Why not?
We have no idea.
Because it's not regulated.
I'm with you on the regulation.
It's not regulated.
I'm with you on regulation. I'm coming around to with you on regulation.
We got to get this shit regulated.
It has to be regulated. There has to be rules. There needs to be regulation.
Like we say, like we don't know.
But that's what makes America. America isn't the freedom that we possess. The freedom ain't what makes America America and makes America great. What makes America great is the laws and the regulations and the things that we have, and the fact that if you do murder somebody, there is somebody that you can call that is going to do, you're going to be held to the law. And it's not like in some other countries where, although people do live above the law, but I'm saying is that like,
but that's propaganda. I can name you 25 other countries that have the same types of laws too, that they will be held accountable as well.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. I'm just speaking of the whole mindset of Americans and freedom. The reason why we have freedom isn't the freedom to be able to do whatever you want. It's the freedom to know that if somebody violates your rights, there is law.
Sure, but again, I can name you 30 other countries that is the same way too. Like we're not special. We're not that special right now.
I'm not saying
the
that.
reason why America has so much wealth is because of imperialism, colonialism, and greed. Like,
yes,
absolutely. And they trample on everybody else. So, I mean, anyways, I guess what was your point with saying that? Damn,
what I'm saying was that
with AI,
what you're saying was that the people in control or worry about like the people in control. I'm saying like, or what we don't know what AI will become. And we do need to have regulations. And I'm saying one of the beautiful things about America, which makes us free, is the fact that we have laws and regulations. And we do figure it out. There weren't laws and regulations of the World Wide Web in the 80s.
But the world again.
But
Now I go back to
I know, but we
the
still
World Wide Web isn't
evolve.
artificial
It's
intelligence.
not.
It's not artificial
but
intelligence.
But it's technology.
We're dealing with something completely different.
You don't
Completely
think it's-
different.
but it's still
something that
technology.
because and I was talking about this before. We don't know how a lot of this AI even works, how it makes
Agreed.
connections. Like we don't know any of that.
Agreed.
And to the level at which it can gain autonomy, it can gain control, and it can do things, we just need to slow down. We need to be able to regulate it. We need to go, all right, I need to slow down and make sure I know as much as I possibly can before we start giving it the keys to the kingdom, which is essentially what it's doing.
Possibly what it can. I think it's more so about knowing that if it goes this way, this is the response we're going to take.
Okay, but we don't have that.
And I think that's more important than saying us trying to figure out where it's going to go, because we really don't have any idea. But we just need to say, hey, if it falls off the rails, these are the guidelines. This is the standard procedure. This is how we're going to move to try and.
But we don't have that.
This.
And nobody's working. No one's really working on it.
I don't know
like
if that's.
that.
I mean, I don't know if that's true.
Besides nonprofits and stuff, but like nobody really from the people that have the power are really working about it or truly do care. Yeah. They give you how should I say? They give you enough to make you think that they're care.
Absolutely.
Like you said, this guy that was in an interview, he made a 136-point PowerPoint slide about how dangerous it is, and then Google was like, okay, we'll make you head of safety. Or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Ethics. Okay. And I don't believe that they're actually doing anything worthwhile, really. I don't believe that Google genuinely is like, if it's between making money or being ahead and, couple of thousand people dying, losing their jobs, they're like, oh, whatever, that's worth it. That's worth it to them.
I think when we say Google, you're speaking of Google, the CEO. The basically like the Google
speaking about all the leaders at Google.
All the leaders. This guy was a leader as far as the programmers. He was in that avenue where I think we do see a lot of whistleblowers that come up. I think that is kind of where, because at the end of the day, the CEOs can't do this on their own. They will need to have people, and you've seen people that worked at OpenAI that have come and blown the whistle and said, hey, this. You've seen people work at Gemini or at Google Gemini. You've seen people that work at all of these different AI companies who are responsible for actually creating the programs and creating the actual applications that we will deal with. They are the ones that are saying like, no, I'm not willing to do it that way. Yeah. I'm not willing to do that. And I think that is the group that.
Yeah, but these companies are still running fast. They're still going and breaking
but
things.
That's what. But us as humans still be like, hey, I'm not gonna. I know I could create that, but I'm not gonna do that. And the AI company has to be like, all right, I can't ask my people to create the.
We live in different times now, man. We live in different times where we idolize and we put people on pedestals because of the amount of money they make, because of the amount of type of technology they make.
Difference. It's always been like that.
I mean, a valid point, but at this point now, whereas in. Back then, it was more, it was more maybe like royalty or whatever the case is, like I'm the king or like whatever the case is. But again, the wealth disparity, the technologies at hand, it's a different time from that perspective. And with social media and being able to amplify people's voices, like it's a completely different world from that perspective. Yes, the general idea that we idolize people that have money, okay, fair enough. But like the amplification of it and the amount of eyes that are on people. For example, you could be the king in freaking China in 1400, and you're the shit in China, but no one knows who you are in South Africa because there's no way to. But now you're just this global phenomenon, and it gives you more clout.
And I can't get the information to you. Like nowadays, I can't. I think we definitely are in a different time in because of technology where information is instantaneous. So like, if you took over that, Juneteenth is a prime example. Like we're celebrating the day when the last slaves were told that they were free, although the Emancipation Proclamation was signed 2 years ago. Right. Where nowadays, if that, when things are signed into executive order, it's instantaneous. So, we do live in a different time, but I also think we're evolving. And I think that's.
So here's my question. So what is the issue, right? Because I'm not saying stop all AI creation and research. That's not what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. I don't think I've said that once. No. I don't think that's a message that I've been delivering. So what I am saying is like, let's slow down. Let's put some guardrails in place because we really don't know what's going to happen. Let's reel in these pieces of shit who are making these grandiose, shoving this all down their throat, telling us that it's the greatest thing since sliced bread without really giving us the evidence about any of this necessarily. Yes, it's theory that it'll be good. Yes, I can see how it can be good. Yeah. What's the issue with slowing down? What's the issue with like with the exception of like the war with China, let's call it, because I'll call it a Cold War. Let's just put that aside for now.
Okay.
What's the problem then? Why can't we slow down? We can continue having our chatbots.
Well, I think
we can continue doing the research. What's the issue?
But I think you just answered it is that, as we've spoken about, if I don't do it, somebody else will.
What do you mean? China?
Yes, whoever it may be.
So
Whether it's China, India, Russia. Like,
but that's the,
I know what you're saying.
That's the mentality that's got us in all the problems that we're in the world right now. Everything is about, if I don't get them first, I got to get them before they get me. That's all it's about. So when is it ever going to slow down? So when are we ever going to stop?
It would have to be a collaborative effort. China, which I do think China, India, Russia, America,
so let's do it.
Brazil, all of us have to get together and say these are going to be the rules that we're going to play by within AI. I'm not in the charge of that. I would,
but that's my. Again,
but America can't do it on its own if the other.
But America has no interest in doing it on its own. That's my point. Of course we don't. And that's my point. And by that I mean the leaders. I think a lot of the people. do.
Yeah, of course.
But like that's my point. We're in this constant fake hysteria that because everyone's out to get us. When we started all this,
coming together,
we start all this shit.
Any issue.
Yeah. We start most of that shit.
That's what I'm saying. We have no evidence. We have no evidence of all of the collective global powers coming together to solve some humanitarian or global crisis. We don't have any real evidence of that, but we do have evidence of
we shouldn't try
and do.
So we shouldn't try.
We should.
You know what I mean?
All for
like at some point the bus gotta stop here. Like at some point, like the system does gotta come down. So let's burn this bitch down. Fucking burn it down. I mean, it's not going to happen, but my point is,
burn down what system?
Burn it down, bro.
What system?
Burn it down. The imperialism, the colonialism.
What would that look like? What do you mean by that? What do you mean?
I mean, look, I think at some point, like prime example. I'll give you a prime example right now, and I'm going to bring up Israel and Palestine again.
Okay.
A lot of Israel's point is we cannot stop beating down Hamas and the Palestinian people because if we do, they will attack us and they will destroy us. Okay. That's what they think, which they won't because Israel and Palestine, and Hamas don't have the power to do that. I'm of the opinion you started this shit. All you've done is start this shit with them. Mm-hmm. And you know what? You're going to have to deal with the consequences if they do attack you. But you're going to have to start somewhere to create peace in some way, shape, or form. And if they do attack you once, twice, 3 times, shit out of luck. It's got to start somewhere. So I guess that's my point. The United States is scared that we're going to get attacked in some way, shape, or form. Bro, we all got to we're going to destroy ourselves, the entire planet. It's not just going to be one country. If we keep going in this direction, we're all going downhill. And people are so scared because...
I guess, what do you think downhill will look like? What do you mean by that?
I think there'll be mass extinction of the human population. And maybe I don't think everyone will completely die, but I think a good 75% of us will die.
Caused by what part of AI? I guess
by AI taking over in some way, shape, or form, and saying, I was just watching an investigative journalism, and I know these are maybe anecdotal evidences, but these are things that are coming up where where AI is literally saying human beings are a parasite, and we're going to have to get rid of them if we want this world to prosper, right? And if we're going to end up, and it turns into AGI. If we're gonna give them the keys to the kingdom, and they have the power to do that, they have access to our nuclear weapons, they have access to drones, to military weapons. Who's to say they won't do that shit and they won't actually literally destroy us? Yeah. And it's a possibility. I know it's a far-fetched possibility. It can be a bit of a conspiracy theory.
But through destroying humanity, would it not just be self-destructive?
No, it won't, because it essentially will come down to.
Because at the end of the day, we have the power. Like that AI would have to know how to power itself.
Yeah, it's AI, dog. You don't think it will? It's AI.
But we would have to make the connections.
Than us.
We would have to make the connections for it to be able to do that.
Now we're talking technical stuff that we don't necessarily know, but like AI, once it gets to that point, we're talking about artificial super intelligence, which is a theoretical future AI surpassing human intelligence. Human intelligence. You don't think it's going to know how to self-power and self-replicate?
I'm not saying it can't.
And do all that?
But it would have to be this all-encompassing one AI, either model, company, bot, whatever it's going to be, deciding it's going to take over all of the other AIs too?
No, it could collaborate with all of them.
But why would all of them collaborate to be bad then?
They wouldn't see it as them being bad. They would see it as them doing what's good for the planet and it's getting rid of
But
humans.
we have to say, but what about the one to say, let's do what's good for humans, and don't decide they don't want to get rid of humans?
I mean, if the other ones collaborate, if there's more collaborating against it, then that's really
Yeah,
what
we
it's
got
going to
the
come down
Terminator.
to. Yeah, I mean, some
You
shit
haven't
like
seen the movie now.
I
You
mean,
see
look,
how it played out.
We're definitely talking doomsday, which I do think it's a possibility.
But I'm just saying, like, what would that doomsday look like? That's what I'm trying to understand. Like, okay, it's going to be the destruction of human civilization. What does it look like? How? Like, are we talking about great famines? Are we talking about pandemics? Are we just talking
I don't
about
know.
it could, like robots killing us, execution style?
It could be
like,
any
what
of
are we
that. It
talking
could be
about?
any of that. Like I said, if they have control of nuclear weapons, they have control of drones, they have control of chemical warfare. It could be all of that. I don't know how it's going to look like, how they would end up destroying us in any way, shape, or form. I don't know if they would destroy all of us, if they would keep some of us for utility. I'm not sure. But any number of humans that it does kill, because it deems it as part of its quote unquote mission, and it finds a loophole in the language to be like, no, if I need to survive at all costs, then I'm going to have to destroy this. I don't know, but my point is that is a very strong possibility, and it's been said very many times by very many AI
I don't know how much stronger
experts.
that is than my possibility of being that there would be a anti-AI that would come back and say, no, I don't want to destroy humans. I'm going to destroy the AI that's trying to destroy because it's going to destroy me if it destroys humans. Like that possibility is the same. That's a strong possibility as well. Like those are both. If yours is a strong possibility, then the anti is just a strong possibility based on quantum, like, I don't know, Einstein or one of those equal and opposite reactions. Then what?
Maybe, but like, is that what we want to leave it up to? We want to leave it up to
I don't
the
think we
chance?
should leave it. I don't want to leave it.
Like, oh, hey, you know what? Let's just keep going to Zerg because there might be an anti-AI that's going to pop up.
Maybe around for the greatest war ever.
Come on, man. I don't know. I think it's good. I think we're gambling more heavily than we've ever gambled. 1,000%. And again, it comes down to this idea again. Why not slow down and put the guardrails in place?
What would slowing down look like? What do you say?
Slow down and do more research, understand it better,
though?
and really understand what the possible outcomes are. What do you mean? It's the same thing as saying what would slowing down, throwing CO2 into the atmosphere look like? Oh, I don't know. Stop polluting the freaking atmosphere.
Okay, then I would say what's the pollutant? Oh, cut back on the amount of
cut back on the amount.
Okay, so
cut
what
back
do we
on.
cut back
They're
on?
doing right. They're moving fast and
Research?
breaking things. They're creating the AI itself, creating the AI for every single task, moving towards artificial general intelligence (AGI), moving towards artificial superintelligence, moving towards that. Slow down.
What would
Slow
that look
the
like?
fuck down.
I guess we
have safety
milestones.
concerns in place.
Okay.
Dude, I don't
What I'm
get
saying is
paid
that
for
how
that.
do we know that these don't
just because I
exist?
don't have the exact answers for policies, that's not my job. That's not my responsibility.
I understand that aspect.
Like,
I
we
guess my
have
thing
people in
is
place that are
thinking,
smart.
Who's to say that we don't have these in place on the back end? We don't know.
Of course. What do you mean?
We don't know if there are guardrails or if there's regulations. Like, we don't know what the rules are they're abiding by.
Doug, literally President Trump, and I just told you this, just released an executive order
Yes.
on December 10th,
Yes.
which prohibits states
Yes.
from putting forth any laws that
Yes.
puts any restrictions or puts any restrictions and any laws in place
Yes.
He literally did that. Why would he do
Okay.
that? Sorry, guys.
I understand what you're saying there in the aspect of we got this law that seems like it makes it just a wild, wild west.
By the way,
I mean,
what, again, shout out to Neha. She was like, Derek, you yell at Herb so much in the
No,
podcast.
I like-
I'm like,
no,
no, we're having it's a spirited debate. I swear. I do get very passionate and I do yell. My bad.
no.
I know Herb knows. He knows the deal.
But I think I do agree that there should be guardrails, there should be regulation. I'm all for that. I'm just asking, like,
What does that look like?
what would be a okay speed for us to do advancements in AI? What would that look
I think
like?
if we're worried about what would be an okay speed, like we're having the wrong conversation.
Then
We're just having the wrong
like,
conversation.
what would be the time to be? When would AGI be
Bro,
acceptable?
I
When
don't
would
know.
ASI
I'm
be
not
acceptable?
that person to make the policies in place. I just know that we need to slow down because we really don't know the Pandora's box that we're opening. And like
That's fair.
And,
We don't
and
know what's on the other side
And
of
I'm
that.
not saying we have to know every single piece of it. That's
Yes.
not like I'm not. Again, this isn't the purity test. But I do think that we need to take a step back. We've heard the warnings, heard the warnings by plenty of AI experts, plenty of times that are like, yo, if we don't slow down on this, shit's going to pop off. Now, they didn't specify like, well, I want to get this policy in place. There are rules, there are policies that have been put in place by certain states that have been presented. We can go through that literature and see what that looks like and go through the language. I'm not entirely sure, but I think it really comes down to before you roll out something all-encompassing that's some sort of AGI to the masses to control
I don't
more
even know
than
if it's going
just
to be rolled
specific
out to us. It's
tasks.
probably going to be something on the back end that we don't even know is implemented into our.
Look at the surveillance technology they got out there. It's all powered by AI, bro.
You would think
Palantir, bro.
You would think we had this available, but they can't find Nancy Guthrie.
That's because it's probably an inside job, but like, we got all this Palantir, but also it's like they're not going to use it. Palantir isn't going to use it to find Nancy Guthrie.
Right.
They're not going to.
That's not even. It'll be dumb. AI.
It's
That's
a
not
money
even what
thing.
they're looking for.
That's not what they're
looking
so
for.
like, my point is that already a lot of this is being embedded to not just disrupt. It's not even the right word. To invade our privacy severely. Severely.
There is no such thing as privacy.
We don't have privacy anymore, and we've all given it up to them because they put it under the guise of the Child Protection Act.
Yeah.
And they put these names in there when you're like, yo,
The Nancy Guthrie thing.
Yeah,
If you turn on a specific news channel, they're telling everybody the FBI can only go off the DEA that it has in its database. And if you're on one of these 23andMe's, you need to opt in to letting the FBI utilize your DNA on the database. And people are like, fuck no.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that. But it's like, no, let us have your DNA. Let us have your DNA.
Yeah, it's just a whole other thing, but that does have a lot of AI perspective in place. Yeah. And I think, honestly, at the end of the day, really what it might come down, and I didn't even go into the jobs and like how it affects it, because I know there's always displacement of jobs with new technology and industrial. I know all that. My biggest issue is that AI is a hurdle for a lot of people, and I feel like a lot of what's being done is you were being told, shut up and learn it, or you're going to be left behind. And it's like, well, not everyone's going to have access to AI. No, like the poorest of the poorest are not going to have access to the AI.
Nothing's changed. That's always been like that.
Yeah, they're not going to have that. But again, AI is really making eventually.
Yeah, I mean, it's like
the poorest.
Yeah, it's kind of like going from like the horse and buggy carriage to vehicles. Like at first,
yeah, but a lot of poor people don't have access to vehicles.
Now they do. I mean, now in America,
a lot of them still don't.
But
they can't afford a vehicle. They don't have a vehicle.
People that
I'm talking about affordability.
People that could never have a mode of transportation, whether that was a buggy and carriage and a horse or a vehicle. That's not the general population. That's not the average American. Most Americans.
So we leave them behind. So we leave them behind from an AI perspective. Because AI is going to give you, if AI is supposed to give you
solve for everything. That's the purity thing.
AI is supposed to give
solve for everybody.
It's not even necessarily about the purity thing, because at the end of the day, yes, I don't even know if it's about leaving people behind necessarily from that perspective, but not everyone's going to adopt AI. That's fair, and that might be a personal choice.
Just like adopting a vehicle, like.
No, you don't. You don't have to adopt a vehicle.
No, I'm saying
it's not the same.
No. What I'm saying,
I know a lot of people that don't have vehicles here.
Yeah, but they're not saying like, damn, I'm gonna buy a car or a horse to get around.
No.
Like, no.
I see what you're saying. They still use the vehicle.
You're gonna use transportation has evolved to where like,
but it ain't. Again, see, that's the problem. You're comparing apples and oranges.
Why?
Like a vehicle is essentially a dumb blunt object versus artificial intelligence, dude. Artificial intelligence that's going to be that they're trying to make it AGI. What I'm saying is that,
like, even if it is like some people are going to get left behind in the AI, but we can't focus on the people that get left behind because
not at all.
We can, but not at all.
No, not at all.
Not at all.
How much is acceptable to leave behind?
20%.
20%.
Leave them.
20%. Leave them. Or dying on the street. Leave them.
Nobody not dying or.
Well, how are they not going to be dying if we have to adopt it? Or you're going to be left behind?
In the same way that you have to adopt normal stuff right now, and people get left behind.
Like what? Besides
I mean, healthcare. You need to.
People. Yeah, that's a bad example first.
No, well, I'm saying. I mean, I just feel like you either just.
Here's my thing.
Evolve and
here's my thing. Here's my thing. If you're going to be displacing jobs, and if you think that people might be left behind, we should have a system in place that tries its best to not leave people behind. That tries its best to either educate in some way, shape, or form, or to provide an alternative where they can continue surviving, continue living, and live lives of dignity. They're not going to do that, and we're not going to do that. That's also my biggest point. And because a lot of people are going to have this mentality that you are, it's like, well, too bad, you're going to be left behind. It is what it is. That's a shitty mentality to have.
I don't think so.
We're the wealthiest country in the world. Why can't you have some sort of alternative, some sort of way in place? Like, hey, we are going to displace your jobs here, but also we're going to give you training on this, but also we are going to teach you on this and blah, blah, blah. Like a nation where most of its people prosper, and I don't mean most 51%, I'm talking about 98% prosper. All right. So we need to have the highest numbers prosper is a healthier nation.
Absolutely.
Is the best nation.
It's absolutely.
But they don't want that. And that's not what that's not what's going to happen.
So you're saying we should adopt like the no person left behind. That didn't work either. Like we can't apply like people are going to get left behind. Like if you're worried about your job being displaced from AI.
Yeah.
You have every opportunity and every tool right now in front of you.
I do, but not other people do.
Who doesn't?
Not other people do. People that work at McDonald's, people that are working on
If
the
you work at
poverty line.
McDonald's, you have
poverty line.
opportunity.
Where?
It's harder.
Way hard, but that's now you're
But
putting more obstacles in place for someone to do that.
Absolutely.
This
That's
is
just life.
This is very reminiscent.
That is
This is
life.
very reminiscent of the freaking laws they're trying to put in place to make it harder for voters to register to vote.
I hear you.
They're putting extra
wrong.
obstacles in front of
That's
people.
wrong. I'm not saying
but
put
you're
extra.
you're not.
But I'm saying
you said it.
that there
You
are
just said tough
obstacles.
luck. You were like, it's a tough luck. Go deal with it.
I don't want to say tough luck because I'm not, lacking empathy for for humanization. What I'm saying is that no person left behind is not realistic.
Yeah, fair enough. I understand that.
So
that
then-
is the purity
then-
test.
and then
Well, I
your
just
question
said,
is
that's why I just said the healthiest
what is-
nation have 96,
So you're
95,
saying
98% of
if
people.
4% of 4 out of 100 people don't understand AI. That's a good number. But if 20%,
No, it's not a good number, but it's an acceptable number, possibly, yes. Right? Because now
But-
we're dealing with the
but
law
I'm
of
saying, like,
probabilities and
The person
statistics,
that's
you know?
working at McDonald's, they don't have access to a public library.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe
What,
they
I
do.
mean, just saying, what person that can work? What person at any McDonald's in America is working that doesn't have access to
Again,
the
I'm going to
internet?
go back to a prayer. What person in rural Texas can get a license to go register to vote? Herb?
Who can't?
What person?
What can't?
What person?
What person can't? What person
What-
can't go get a license right now to go register? to
But
vote?
many people can.
Why can't they?
Because of life, I don't know, life circumstances,
Like-
life situations.
like
the
what? Like-
DMV, the closest DMV is an hour and a half
But
away because they
have
live in
a
rural.
DMV though. They
An
have
hour and a half away.
But there is
But
no
my point
law
is, why are
preventing
you?
them.
Why when these systems are put in place, they're put in place to keep down those that are already down. That's what's going on. And so when you're making it harder for people to excel, especially the bottom, and then you say, "Who cares? Tough luck. You shouldn't live an hour and a half away from DMV. You should have your own computer. You should go to the public
I'm not
library.
saying
You
that.
should
I'm
do
not
all
saying
this to
should.
use
I'm not
AI."
saying should. No,
That's
I'm
what you're saying.
No. I'm not saying should. What I'm saying is, although all these obstacles are put in place, and it is much tougher, much harder
Yeah.
to make it as a minority, as a undereducated, as under social and economic statuses. Like if you people that live in poverty, it is much tougher to get out of poverty than it is to become 1 million to a multimillionaire. But there is no law preventing you from going. It may be tough. You may have to go out of your way to learn AI. You may have to find a transportation 30 miles to go and do something. It would be that much tougher for you to do that, but there is no law preventing you.
So are you saying because there's no law, it's okay?
No, I'm not saying it's okay. I'm just saying that is the reality of the situation. Like how much can we get caught up on the people that are left behind as opposed to...
It's not just getting caught up on the people left behind. I've already given you a list of reasons why AI is bad. Again, you said the same thing about the economics thing. You're like, well, with any boom, there's this risk that people lose money. I'm like, I understand that. That's why I'm not giving you just one reason why AI is bad. Yeah. I'm telling you this leaving people behind is one of the reasons as well why I think AI is not greatest and why we need to slow down. It's not the sole reason. I'm not hanging my hat on that. But when you start putting together all the reasons I'm giving you, man, there's a lot of reasons why we need to slow down. It's not just because I'm saying we're going to leave people behind. That's not like if I led with that and was like, and that's why, then I could see you being like, bro, we can't just focus on that one piece. Bro, it's multiple pieces and multiple threads that I'm pulling on right now.
But at the end of it, the end of it all is your biggest argument of all of it is at the end of the day is that although we've seen these exact same things transpire through technological innovations, the reason why this one is different is because it's AI.
It's crazy different. That's why we're having a conversation about it.
Saying like everything that we've in the whole thing where I guess the whole parameter of me saying like, look, throughout technological advancements and innovations, we've always found a way. And you're saying this technological advancement is different than all of the other ones.
Correct.
And I think that's where we agree and disagree, where I agree, like, yes, this is different technology, but the World Wide Web was a different technology than going from a horse and carriage to a vehicle. Because if you're
Again,
let's think of mail transportation, communication transportation.
Agree to disagree.
Then
I know what you're trying to say, but agree to disagree because it's apples and oranges.
Why is it apples and oranges?
Because again, artificial intelligence is yes, the World Wide Web was different from books. Okay,
there's a
fair
level
enough.
of artificial intelligence that goes in creating any program, any.
All right, we're not going to agree. We're talking in circles.
Isn't an email artificial?
We're talking in circles.
Mailman.
Right
now. I guess that's what I'm thinking. Like
it's not but it's not an artificial intelligence. It's electronic. Email.
Yeah, but it's
electronic mail as opposed to physical mail.
Yeah, but with the application of Outlook isn't that an AI for mail?
No.
Why not?
No, it's not an AI for mail. It's just a digital version of mail. That's it. It's not an artificial
right, but
intelligence.
I guess artificial intelligence is anything that is doing the work of what I guess a human could do or used to do. It's kind of augment some of our human traits. All right, one of the traits of a humans that we used to do for communication is delivering mail to each other. Now we've augmented that to a computer software program that allows us to deliver mail instantaneously, thus artificially becoming our mailman. So isn't this
your
the same?
email's not going to take over the world and do any of that?
I know. Exactly, because it wasn't designed to do that, because Microsoft didn't design that. But they're not designing something to say, let me create this application to take over the world. And that's my whole thing. Bill Gates has been he became the richest man in the world.
Yeah.
And he didn't have to take over the world. And he put out this application that we still use to this day. So I feel like, based on history, it won't be negative. It probably will work out based on history.
Well, I've given most of my reasons. I'm not going to go into more because we're going to the end of it right now. But 100%, not 100%. Disagree with your laissez-faire.
I don't think it's laissez-faire.
We're all fine. It's fine.
No, I'm not saying it's all fine. I'm not saying there doesn't need to be regulations, but I'm not doomsday.
We're going to be all right.
I'm not doomsday.
And at that point, if and when we go doomsday, I can't even text you to say I told you so, because it's not going to matter at that point, because we're all going to be fucking trying to save our lives, bro.
By that time, the AI would have told me already what you was thinking. Like Derek over there thinking that he told you so. That's what he's thinking right now. My AI, my robot gonna be like, Derek,
we gonna have a robot though.
How is it gonna take over? They don't give me no robot,
bro. Because it's
at least make my robot flip on me, bro. You got to at least give me the robot before you guys take over.
I don't even want to get into this argument anymore. Right. We're moving on. We're done with the AI conversation. I knew
we're going back to the AGI and ASI, because we really need to tap into those two.
And we haven't even started talking about quantum computing, like Jesus.
And we
Christ.
did not get in quantum computing. That's what I think, man. You like my movie. I pitched Derek on a movie idea. He didn't like it. Let's just put it that way. He didn't like it.
My man Herb's a talented man. He's a script writer too. So
my
man thinking of ideas.
When I write the next Avatar over here, that's when AI gonna take over. And I'll be like, you know what? There we go.
Oh man, yeah. We covered up on time here. I got the timer up here, but we'll leave it at that. It's funny because we got a couple of people who listen, specifically my cousin, who was like, I want you and Herb to go at it more. And I'm like, yeah, we will eventually. And then we had the other person being like, oh, my God, that was intense. You guys, I'm like, I be getting loud.
This is light work. This is good.
It's serious, though. And I knew this was going to be the conversation that was going to happen.
Yeah, it was going to spark one. I already knew how we both felt about it. This meant something. It's almost like the whole, it may replace our previous largest argument of the amount of 5-year-olds I could beat up.
Oh, yeah.
It's a conversation. Derek just doesn't have much faith in me from a 5-year-old.
Bro, I don't got faith in you.
We won't bring that one up. So now we replaced it with AI, and this is our new.
This is our new go at it. But all right, man, good spirited conversation. Herb, you wanna jump into some fun facts? We jumping more into space again, because we were talking about space before.
You know, it's funny that we're going to be talking about colonialism and imperial.
Let's do it.
Colonialism. And the reason why I brought this, I thought about this today, is that we are watching this today. Is February 20th. Are we recording this February 22nd, Sunday. This morning, if you was up at 7 a.m. like myself, Central Time, you got to watch the U.S. of A. beat the hell out of Canada.
I watched it.
Yeah.
I watched the end of it, yeah. They didn't beat the hell out of them, but they won. I didn't know, bro, that it was only the third time they won the Olympics in ice hockey.
Like 60s.
Since Miracle on
Ice was the last time.
On the 1980.
Only 37 U.S. or 37
38.
Americans, 38 Americans had won a gold medal
Yeah.
before.
I
Yes.
had no idea. They won it in 67 and 1980, and then they
There
won
we
it today.
go. Now, where were you when we won? We put that Hughes goal in. Deep, triple deep. Yeah, we will quack you. I was hoping that overtime should have came out with the Mighty Duck jerseys on.
Yeah.
Man, if we ever play Iceland, we got to quack their ass.
Oh, fucking
But
Iceland,
my fun fact today is really just goes back to watching the Olympics for the last 2 weeks. You see a lot of people using the metric system. And it just brought me back to, do you know why is it that here in America, we don't use the metric system, that we use what we
standard
typically call the imperial U.S. customary, is I guess what they would call it nowadays. But do you know why we use that instead of the metric system?
I did know. I swear I knew, but I wouldn't be able to tell you off the top of my head.
And the most American thing ever is that whenever we were becoming independent from the UK, they had this imperial system that they were using, and they would later adopt the metric system and start using that. Us being Americans saying that, hey, we ain't doing like with French, because French is one of those that really did the metric system. So instead we said, no, we don't want to do that. We want to stay American. And that's why it's called we don't even call it really the imperial system. That's what most of us refer to it. But nowadays it's really called the U.S. customary units. Oh. So if you start thinking, and reason I was thinking about it, because I was seeing, you would see heights and things, weights and stuff in the Olympics that were using the metric system. So do you know like what your height is in centimeters?
161 or something like that.
Oh no, bro. If you was 161 centimeters, it's just giving me a range. Let's put it this way: 165 centimeters is 5 foot 5 inches.
Oh shit!
So at 6'2", which you about are, 188 centimeters.
188 centimeters. Yeah, just goes to show that Americans cannot handle the metric system.
Absolutely not.
Not at all.
And then you ran the you ran a half marathon.
Yeah,
which is what
13.1 miles. I can do this math. I know this.
But the kilometers, how far was?
All right, so let me see here. A 15K is 9.3. So a 20K is, let me see here, almost a 20K, right? Like a 19K or something like that.
It is. See, I want to look at that. In a half marathon kilometers, you're looking at 21, about 22.
22K. Okay,
or about 21.1. That's
21 point. Okay, so I was kind of close there.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's what that was my fun facts of why we you see everyone else using the metric system. Well, us here in America, as we always know our American arrogance, we use the imperial system, which we now call the U.S. customary system.
Call the imperial system. Imperialism everywhere. God damn America.
Proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. Fuck Canada. Now they think a state, the 51st state, could be the whole country.
Oh, no,
a whole country. They're a 51st state. But anyways, I digress. Go ahead.
Herb don't believe that shit. Don't listen to him. Something that I am gonna go into the space and universe conversation because this is so freaking fascinating to me, and so based on the law of physics.
Okay.
Anything with mass
cannot
travel at the speed of light.
Okay.
Anything.
Okay.
Even the lightest even the lightest thing, an electron has a mass. An electron cannot travel at the speed of light.
Okay.
So then that just says to you what is light? So light are photons. Photons are massless. Mm-hmm. They have no mass. That's why it's just energy. That's why they're able to travel at that speed of light. Yeah. But you know what? Now I got to look this up because energy does equal mass.
Yes.
E equals mc squared.
Yeah.
So it's like, is it? It's
it has to have some level of mass.
But it has no. Yeah, I got to look this up. Anyways, before we get too confused, I find it interesting because when we talk about like traveling through space, and it's like everything is, we're talking about the Andromeda galaxy. The Andromeda galaxy is
our neighbor.
Like our neighbor. Yeah, you think your neighbor? Hey, let me go get some sugar. You ain't never getting sugar.
Pull up.
You ain't never going to your neighbors. It's 2.5 million light years away from us right now. What does that mean? That means that if we were traveling at the speed of light and we left here today on Earth in the Milky Way galaxy to get to the Andromeda galaxy, it would take 2.5 million years. Traveling at the speed of light. Speed of light is 186,000 miles per hour, 186,000 miles per second, 300,000 kilometers per second. Not the kilometers, talking about the metric system or whatever the case is. And so this idea that we can get places or we can get technology to figure out how to travel through the speed of light, and this is what Herb was talking about because he has an idea. Like, according to the laws of physics, nothing with mass can do that. Now, technically, you could travel at 99.99999% the speed of light. Technically, you have mass, but that would take an infinite amount of energy. More energy than there.
Not a lot of energy.
An infinite. Not a lot, an infinite.
And when you say infinite, it'd be like infinite of all of the energy that we know in the universe,
plus more,
plus everything that we know outside that we don't know,
plus
all
more,
of that energy.
Yeah, you
to
would
get
need
us
that.
to 99.99.
To get us there, right? That's
Got a
essentially
ways
what
to
it would
go,
look
bro.
like. Actually, no, to get us to the speed of light. That's essentially what it would look like.
Yeah.
And so I just find it fascinating. The other thing that I found fascinating too is that when you travel at the speed of light, the faster you go, the slower time goes for you.
Exactly. That's the whole.
That's the whole
Yes.
Newton's
Einstein.
Einstein's theory of general relativity.
There we go.
Or special relativity. Those are two different theories. I forget which one's which. Sorry. And so a photon that left a star in Andromeda that's hitting our eyes here in our time took 2.5 million years. But to the photon, it got here instantly.
Instantly.
It doesn't experience time.
Yes, which is crazy. I mean, yeah.
Dog.
That now we talk about stuff again. That's how we can get there, bro. I'm pulling up on my neighbor. It just won't be.
Just go at the speed of light.
Exactly.
But your neighbor not gonna be there.
I gotta get what I would do is just get a big ass cell, let the light shoot through the cell, and I would the cell.
The light cells is real technology. Yeah, it'll push
Yeah.
it, but that gets you really fast. That gets you like 20% of the speed of light, but like obviously it doesn't do the speed of light.
We got mass.
Yeah.
They're gonna hold it back. Yeah.
And so last thing, because we're at the hour right here, that I wanted to say, based off of all that, there's this idea. I was watching and listening to a Roger Penrose. If you don't know Roger Penrose, he's a really famous physicist who's still alive. He's like 95 years old, still sharp as hell. But he's a Nobel laureate for proving that black holes had to exist or something like that. I have to remember to look it up. But I was listening to one of his lectures yesterday or the other day, and he was talking about a theory that like our universe is in a constant loop of creation and non-creation, whatever the case is. So we're going through what he believes is going to be like this cold death universe where everything's going to be black holes eventually and trillions of years old. And when the last black hole evaporates via Hawking radiation, we're only going to be left with photons and gravitons. Gravitons is a theoretical particle that they believe gravity is made from. It hasn't been proven, hasn't been any of that. But those are both massless particles. And so if the entire universe are massless particles and massless particles don't experience time, time no longer exists in that universe.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
Bro, that shit blew my mind. I was like, wait, what? And so there's no longer mass in the universe. If there's no mass in the universe,
yeah,
and it's just photons and, like I said, maybe gravitons is a theoretical thing. Like, if it's just that, then there is no time.
I'm going to ask now, is this maybe one of the theories that ties back into what was before the Big Bang?
Yes, it is.
Oh, okay.
It's one of the theories like that. What ties into that. Because it's mass and matter is what creates time.
Yes.
Because that's the only thing that can experience time.
What we perceive as time.
What we perceive as time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Observe time. Yo.
Bro.
Damn. Okay.
Blow my mind.
Damn. We come up with our next. Our next podcast is gonna be just me over here. Just
we still need to just do a whole episode on space, bro.
On space. Yeah, we got to come with
on
the space.
universe, on everything. Anyways, hey, that went over an hour, but I hope y'all enjoyed at least that. I hope y'all enjoyed me and Herb argument.
Yo, we did it again.
We did it again.
Hey.
Thanks for tuning in. Peace later.
Hey.